I will send it to you. That will be better. Okay, fine. So yesterday I started PLSQL. So I told you in case of PLSQL there are 3 blocks: declaration block, the main body block, that is begin end block, and the third block is exception block. So 2 blocks are optional, declaration block and exception block, while in case of the main body block that is mandatory one. Like we have write a program edp1.sql. So it was a program what we were using. So we just try about this. I told you how to, in declaration we have to declare the variable, and if I want to assign some value to variable, then I can't use directly equal sign. Like in general what we say, a equals to 5. Fine. In general languages you assign the value like this, but this is not possible in case of PLSQL. If in PLSQL this is known as equity operator. This single equal sign is working as the equity operator. If I want to assign some value, then I have to assign like this. Fine. Already I told you about it. So these are the, if I want to accept the value from the user, then again I am using ampersand sign. A equals to ampersand A, B equals to ampersand B, C equals to ampersand C. And if A greater than B, and what is and when I'm talking about this one? So as far as operators are concerned, so arithmetic operator, like plus sign, plus, minus, multiplication, division, all are supported. Then logical. So in case of logical, AND operator is there, OR operator is there, NOT operator is there. Other three are working. Fine. Comparison. So in case of comparison, greater than equals to, less than equals to, and only equal. This is for equity operator, and this is for not equal. All these operators are working. Fine. So in the same way, what I have used this one, AND operator over here. If A greater than B and A greater than C, then DBMS output or put line. So DBMS output or put line we are using to display some value on the screen on the SQL prompt. So when I want to run it, so at the rate p1.sql, value of 8, 12, 67, 23. So it is not showing me anything, as I told you yesterday also. If I want to see output on the screen, so I have to write set server output on. Fine. Again I can try this, 34, 12, 78. So C is greater or greatest, whatever message you want to display. I told you if I want to concatenate two values, then the operator is pipe operator. So for the concatenation, we are using pipes. So if I want to write a next program like edp2.sql and declare A varchar2 20, B varchar2 20, and C varchar2 40. Begin. So I want to accept the value in A. It should be ampersand A. B ampersand B. And in C, if I want A pipe sign B, and then dbms output dot put underscore line, and I want to display C, and at last we have to use this slash save, and at the rate p2 dot SQL. So value of A, welcome B, okay, die. So welcome guys, we are getting as the output. If I want space in between, then what I have to do, what I will do over here, in this case A concatenation with single quote, I have given a space, then again I am using concatenation. Save it, compile it again. Actually I have to compile it once. So at the rate p2 dot SQL. So at the rate is doing what? It is basically compiling. Okay, 12 23. So 12 space 23. Welcome sir. So space is there. Fine. So this concatenation is working as a pipe sign. Now I have to start with loop. So okay, we have worked with the statement. Which statement we have worked? We have worked with the if statement. So we have if, then, and if. We have if, then, else, and if. Fine. And everything has to be terminated by semicolon. We have if, then, else if, then, else, and if. Fine. So yesterday we have tried, like we have used with the, if we want to find out the greatest of three numbers, then we have used these statements. Now I am talking about loops. When I am talking about loop, I have first loop. My first loop is known as loop and loop. My second loop is my while loop and loop. And my third one is for loop and loop. Fine. Then I am talking about, so this is my third. Okay, save it. Okay. So first of all, I am talking about loop and loop. When I am talking about loop and loop, it is if I am not using any condition statement over here, then it will continue for infinite time, because it's not having any conditions. See, whenever I am talking about loops, so in general, when I am talking about loops, so loops require actually three expressions. And what are the three expressions? First expression is my initialization. initial condition or initial expression. Second is my conditional. So conditional, okay. And third one is my increment or decrement. Fine.
Yeah.
Without these three conditions, it will not work. So loop is infinite because in loop we are not working with the condition. So when I am talking about loop and loop, in case of loop and loop, condition is not given. Condition is not given in the definition of the loop and loop. Now let me start with this one. Okay, pd p3.sql declare. Suppose I have a number a number, and the same way I have b number. And, okay, begin. If I simply want to display the value from 1 to 10, so in that case I am saying okay, a equals to 1. Okay, now I want to display it, so I am saying loop, and then I am using and loop. Fine. So what I want to do into loop, dbms output dot put underscore line, I want to display a. Okay, so now I'm saying if a is greater than 10, then exit, and then I want to say a equals to a plus 1. Fine, save it. At the rate, this is p3.sql. Declare a number, b number, begin a equals to 1, loop, dbms output dot put line, I want to display the value of a. If a is greater than 10, then exit, and if then I'm using a equals to a plus 1, and this is my AND loop. After this AND loop, I have to end my program. End of my program, and then slash. Fine. In this particular program I don't require b, so no need to declare it. What I want to do, I have taken a number a, initial value equals to 1, then I'm using loop and loop. This loop and loop is working for the infinite time, so I have to use exit statement just to come out of this particular loop. So I'm saying if a greater than equals to, if a is greater than 10, then exit, and if is there. So if condition is true, then only it will come out. Now save it. So at the rate p3.sql. So it is displaying all the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fine. Because first it's displaying the value, then it's checking.
Yeah.
So that's why it is showing up to 11. When the value is 11, then it's displaying first, then it's checking.
Okay. In this loop and loop, can we use any kind of loop between the loop and loop, like we have used and if loop and if and if loop?
If and if is basically statement, not loop. We can use anything. Like if we are talking about nested loop and all, means loop inside the loop, then we can use any combination. Syntax wise it should be right. If it is right syntax wise, then definitely we can use anything. Fine.
Okay.
Okay, this is my first program. Now if I want to change it, but I don't want to use if, in place of using these 3 lines, what can I do? I can say exit when a greater than 10. That's it. Semicolon. And exit when a greater than 10. Say at the rate p3.sql. I'm getting the same output. It means this exit when statement is what? In place of using if a greater than 10, then exit and if. So in place of 3 line I can write only single line. In that line I am writing exit when a greater than 10. This exit when I am using for loop and loop. This is my loop and loop. So for this particular loop I can use exit when. If I am not using this exit when, then definitely it will not come out, because there is no condition. See, it's not working with the condition. So if not working with the condition, then with the body loop, with the body of the loop only, I have to decide when the loop will close. Fine. If I am not using this particular statement, exit when a greater than 10, then what will happen? It will come. It will display value of. It will display value 1, then it will be 2, then it will display 2, then 3, it will display 3, and it will continue, because we don't have any statement through which we could come out from this particular loop. So this is my loop and loop. After this loop and loop, my next loop is for while loop. Okay. So in case of while loop, this is condition while. Second is, so in case of loop and loop, I am using what I am using. I am using exit when. Okay. Now second is while. With while, then we are using condition, and then I'm using loop, then body of this loop, and then I'm using and loop. Fine. So it is requiring 3 condition with the file, then within the body. First, the next thing what I require is increment, decrement, and before starting my while loop I should have a initial condition. If I don't have initial condition, then it definitely it will not work. Okay. So ed p4.sql. Suppose I want to accept a number and I want to display table of that particular number, then definitely declare, and I have to accept a number, so a number. I require count number. It's again a variable. Let me start begin. So when I am starting with begin, what I want to do, I want to accept a number. So dbms output dot put underscore line accept a number, and then what I'm saying, a equals to ampersand a. So I have accepted the value in a. Okay. So I have to display its table. We know very well that table can be displayed by multiplying that particular number with 1 to 10. So I'm using count. So initial value of count is required. So initial value of count equals to what? 1. While count is less than equals to 10. Loop. And what loop is doing? Loop is basically doing what? loop is displaying the value. What value? My number is A. So A multiplied by count. Fine. Then what I want to do? I want to increase the value of count. So count equals to count plus 1. Then end loop. So in this particular loop you can see I have initial condition with count equals to 1. I have condition with count less than equals to 10, and I do have increment or decrement with count equals to count plus 1. So all the three expressions I do have, so it will work. At last I have to complete the body and close it. So this is my P4 at the rate P4.SQL. Value, suppose I want 6. It's showing error. What? While count less than equals to 10. Error. Function or pseudo column count may be used inside a SQL statement. Okay, so it's saying that this particular variable is not right. P4.SQL. In place of count, if I'm using C, then it should also work that time also. So C equals to save.
And in the output too, we have made a mistake.
Which one?
We have to change the count in the output line.
Okay. Fine. At the rate P4.SQL. So now I am getting the table of 6. So that I am using by using my particular loop, while loop. Now in case of while loop, if I want to use a for loop is also working. If I want to use for loop, my third loop is there, for loop. So for, then again the same thing, I have variable. With variable, what I have, initial dot final. Then I have loop and loop, and between them I do have body. If I want to say ed p4.sql, suppose the same program, if I want to modify with the for loop, so what I will do, I don't require initial condition. What I have to do here, for C in 1 double dot 10. Loop and loop, save it. Okay, one more thing, it's not required increment also. At the rate p4.sql value, we are getting the same output. See it again.
How does it work?
Yes, I'm showing you. So what happened in case of for loop, for C, that is my variable, in. Now when I'm saying 1 means its initial value. So for C equals to 1. Fine. 2. Then I came inside loop dbms output line. Then there was a condition while C is less than equals to 10. So this is my condition over here. Between these I have two dot operator. So by default it is giving an increment of 1. So for C in 1 to 10, initial value is 1, next value will be 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, up to 10. And as it's reaching to 10, automatically it is coming out of this loop. It's coming out for this body of loop.
Okay, then in this 1 to 1 dot double dot 10, there are three conditions including that statement, right?
Yes, all the three expressions are into one line. Initial expression,
Okay.
condition expression, and
Condition.
increment expression.
Increment.
So all the three expressions has come in one line only. So that is 4C in 1 double dot 10. Got it? So these are my loops, what we have to use now. Now we have to use my PLSQL program with my database. How we can use database to access the value. If I want to fetch the value, definitely we are working with the Oracle, we are talking about PLSQL, we are talking about DBMS. So this procedure language is not for this type of the program. This procedure language is for a database. We want to fetch the database into that. So suppose I want to write a program ed p5.sql. Okay. Suppose I want to display the value of my employee table. Okay. So declare describe emp. In this particular table, I have employee number, employee name, job, hire date, salary, commission, department number, and these are the data types. Number 4, varchar 210, fine. And if I want to select the employee number, select empno from emp. So these are 7369, 7499 and all. Okay, ed p5.sql. So declare, when I want to declare, suppose I want eno. So I showed the data type. First point,
Number.
data type of the field what I am using in my table. So in table, employee number is of number type and employee name is of varchar 210 type. Okay, suppose I am accessing only two, employee number and employee name, number and varchar 2. Okay, fine. ed p5.sql. So eno, that is of number 4, and e name, only I am saying name. In the same way I am saying here number only. Okay. Name varchar 20. Okay. Begin.
What are we trying to do?
We are fetching the record in PLSQL program.
Okay.
Actually, first we have to fetch the record, then only we can manipulate that. In the SQL we are having tables, and we are working with what to do concept. We are giving instruction and we are getting output.
Okay.
But if you want to do many things at the same time, then it was not possible by SQL. For example, I want to give the increment on the basis of salary range. Suppose I am talking about the salaries are there, and if I want to give the increment, like if salary is more than 10,000, then increment of 10%. If salary is between 20 to 30, then increment of 8%. If salary is between 4 to 5, then increment of 30%. Right? So if I have such type of the condition, then I don't have any solution in SQL. I have to write a program for that only.
Okay.
So for that I have to use PLSQL. And if I am talking about my application like ERP and everywhere, I have to use PLSQL because I have to write the code.
Okay.
It is not only query. SQL is what? Query language.
Correct.
I can write a query and I can get the output. But when I'm
So
talking
we can't change the output. I mean,
no, conditions are not possible. I'm not talking
yeah,
about changing. Conditions are not possible. Fine.
Okay.
Suppose I am having various tables. On the basis of the record of one table, I want to change the record of the another tables. Again, it is not possible. We are getting the data, and when we are having data, like we are getting bill information, and on the basis of the billing information, we want to apply taxes also. And then we want to calculate the total payment. So that is again not possible with PLSQL if we are having different slabs.
Okay.
So all those things we can do by using a procedure language.
Yeah.
And in case of database, we didn't have any procedure language, so we are working with PLSQL. Like select, suppose EMP-NO into NO from EMP where EMP, it is ename, I think. Yeah, ename into name from EMP where EMP NO equals to 7369. And then dbms output dot put underscore line name and at the rate p5.sql Smith. What I did actually in this program, ed p5.sql, I declare no, that is my variable, name is my variable. In table I was having field name. What was the field name? EMPNO and ename. Fine. See, if I want to do modification, how can I do? I can do only by storing the value in my variable. Then I can do something. Suppose I want sum of two numbers. So by program I cannot write directly the sum of two numbers. First, I will do what? I will carry the first value in my first variable, then second value in my second variable, then in my third variable I will do summation of these two numbers, and then I will display my third variable. Fine.
Yeah.
So that is the only solution what I do have with me. So if I am working with table, so directly with table I cannot work. So what is the solution? I have to fetch the value from the table into my local variable. Then I will manipulate my local variable in whatever manner I want. So in the same way, select ename into name. So ename is what? If you just forget about into name, then select ename from emp where employee number equals to 7369. If I just write over here,
That's a query.
what is my query? My query is select ename from emp where empno equals to 7369. Fine. And I cannot execute it because that I can execute with my SQL prompt.
SQL. Okay.
Because in SQL prompt it can return the value. When I'm saying with my SQL prompt select ename from emp where employee number equals to 7369, so this particular query is selecting the name and displaying on my SQL prompt. But when I'm writing this particular program, even if I select it, so where this output will go, where this ename will go. So to store this ename, I require a variable. So that's why I am saying select ename, and whatever you are selecting, store that into name from emp where employee number equals to 7369. So now if the compiler is getting any of the value, then that value is stored into name where employee number equals to 7369. Got it now? Is it clear?
Yeah.
So I have selected and I have worked with it in the same way. I can do yes.
I have it. Can we override these data variables in the PLSQL procedure, or will it store permanently? I mean, like if we use name again with the other EMP number, will it store the different number, the different name?
If we are writing the update statement, it will do it. For example, I am saying select Sal is there. Fine. Okay. Now let me close this program first. Select set line size 100. Okay. Select asterisk from EMP. If I am talking about 7369, name is Smith, and Smith is not having any commission. Fine?
Yeah.
It's okay? Okay. Fine. So on the basis of the salary, if I want to give him a commission, so this is ename and this is sal and this is com. It is employee number. Okay. ed p5.sql. So select ename, comma, sal, comma, com. So com is not required. We require only sal. Select ename, comma, sal into name, comma, salary. So salary I have to declare. Salary is there.
Number.
Just a minute. Yeah, take care. Okay, so I have taken salary and that salary is number. Okay, fine. So select ename, comma, sal into name, comma, salary from EMP where employee number equals to 7369. So I have selected ename, I have selected salary. If I want to display, I can display name and I cannot use comma over here. What I have to use? I have to use pipe, and then I have to use space, and then I am displaying salary. The best way of writing the program initially with PLSQL is that we should check it. Okay, up to this extent, is it right or not? So let me p5.sql. Smith and 800. I've got it. Fine. So now what I want to do, I want to update the commission. p5.sql. So on the basis of this, if I want to update, what I'm saying, update emp set commission equals to I'm having salary multiplied by 0.1, where name ename equals to name. So here I'm using my own variable. My variable are name. So on the basis of I have selected, that is the Smith, it will select the on the basis of Smith, what it is doing, commission will be salary multiplied by 0.1. Salary again I have taken. @ p5.sql. So output is same because we have not changed any. If you want to check, select asterisk from emp. You can see here Smith commission is 80, which was 0 initially.
Yeah.
So whatever I want to do, I can do. Whatever change I want to make in my table, I can do that. Fine. So I can fetch my values into variable, and after fetching the values into variable, I can use them. Any confusion?
No.
Okay. Now second point. Percent type and percent row type. Today I will explain you percent type. Percent type is what? Actually, when we are working with the p5.sql. So here what I am saying, no number 4. So what I have to do, I have to take care of, okay, what is the data type of employee number, because in NO I want to access the value from employee number. So in place of using this number 4 and all, what I can do, NO is what? emp dot
Percent type.
emp no percent type.
Okay. I mean, we are getting the proper data type from the table itself.
Table name dot field name, then percent type. So automatically the data type will be the data type of employee number.
Okay.
Like in the same name is there, so it will be emp dot ename percent
type.
Yes. Salary will be emp dot sal percent. Got it?
Yeah.
It should work in the same way. It's working. Fine. So we can work like this.
Okay.
Then
Okay. Let me clarify one thing. We can do everything we do in SQL in using PLSQL. Am I right?
Yes, that's why PLSQL is so important.
So, and we can't do what we use using what we can do using PLSQL through SQL. That's
Yes.
right.
See, you can see that if I'm talking about like PED, P5.SQL. So what I'm using here? I'm using SQL. So first of all, I should know SQL. Then only I can learn PLSQL.
Okay.
And once you know
Okay.
PLSQL, then you can work with forms and reports.
Okay.
Because every procedure, every routine now you have to write using PLSQL. Right?
Okay.
See, even if you are good into
Mm-hmm.
PLSQL, there are lots of jobs available. So PLSQL is very important. See,
Okay.
getting job in US is easy, as I told you earlier also. If you are good in SQL, then only you can get job. You are good in PLSQL, then only you can get job. So many candidates are getting like $7,000 per month by using SQL only. They are writing statement into SQL and they are getting good salary. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way, PLSQL is very good. PLSQL is a little bit complicated, little bit in comparison to other languages. If you have worked
Okay.
with C or C++ or Java, in comparison to those, it is a little bit complicated. Not very much.
Is it more complicated than Java? As Java has
See,
object inheritance and all those things?
if I am talking about like C++ or Java, so Java is what? Java is a proper language in which we are developing applications. Like mobile application we are using on, web application we are using, for everything we are using Java and all. But those are not the language for database.
Okay.
If
Okay.
I am talking about PLSQL, PLSQL is not a
Mm-hmm.
language what we want to use for developing web
Application.
applications and all. It is
Mm-hmm.
specifically for database.
Okay.
So many times people get confused, okay, I want to do this thing, like I want to create an interface. See, creating interface is not a task of PLSQL. PLSQL is for, okay, database. Whatever you want to work with the database, that is possible. If
Okay.
you want to do the same work in Java, then you have to write again SQL and PLSQL in Java. Java code is not able to do database handling.
Okay.
Have you worked with Java?
Yeah, I worked with
Okay, then
Java.
you know very well in Java we are having JDBC concept, Java database
Mm-hmm.
connectivity. And in
Yeah, definitely.
JDBC, whenever you are writing a driver, you are connecting. So there you are using again SQL statement. So without SQL statement, you cannot access information into Java.
Yeah, that's right.
Fine. So working with database, we require SQL, PLSQL.
Okay.
That is confirmed. Okay. So now tomorrow I will start cursor. Cursor is again a important topic, very important topic. So what I will do, I will start cursor, then function, procedures, triggers, and packages. All these things we will cover slowly, one by one. Okay. So by tomorrow you can practice for this one. Uh, you please practice for this, because once you will practice, if you are getting any confusion, then definitely I will solve that problem, and then we'll go ahead. Because if you will
And
not practice now, then you will be lagging behind.
no, I can only practice through online. Like what I'm doing till now is I'm doing. I was seeing some online YouTube videos about Oracle, and I'm practicing like that only. If you could send me these videos and give me some exercise, I could do it like that.
There is a
I
point actually when we are going for the videos, no? So YouTube videos, so many videos are available. Fine. But
Yeah.
that is only for fundamental, nothing else. Hardly some of the videos are for 15 minutes length, some are for maximum 1 hour. And you
Yeah.
will see that all the videos, whatever you want to see, those videos are having initial knowledge only. That's why Oracle
Yeah.
apps, ERP, if you're talking about like, if it could be possible, then everyone could learn through YouTube and all. With any module. So when
Yeah.
you're
That's
talking
what I
about
think.
finance module, you will open finance module, but what you will find? Initial setup, that's it. So everybody has just
Yeah.
started initial, that's it. No one is going into depth. That is the main difference.
Okay. While listening, it is easy for me to understand what it is, but after the class, if I want to recall, it's not possible for me everything to recall it at once. So I
Now what
need
I'm,
this.
I'm just stopping this recording of this session now, and immediately I'm sending it to you. Fine?
And yeah, and not only this, could you send me the previous ones too?
Previous one, it will take 2-3 days, but I will send it to you. I have to download them again, and then I will send it to you. Okay.
And
Otherwise, also
send
PL
to
we
me
have started today, and the PL is important. So from first one, it will be good for you to have this. Yeah, what you were saying?
and send me to my mail
Yes,
mmc89@gmail.com.
yes, yes, yes. I will do that only. MMC9. Fine. Okay.
Yeah, @gmail.com, not a system.
Yes, yes. Okay, sure. I'm stopping here now. Stop.